Hashtag NFL Fantasy Pro, better known as Non-Keeper Football League Flex Auction Noob Tier. Always start your per reception owners. I am BJ Beamer, and this is the last episode of the season. I don't even really want to talk about it because I was just finished crying. Our guest for the last episode is the one and only Bill Lett. Bill, it's good to see you.
Always good to be seen, and thank you for having me as the final guest of your inaugural season for the best and most accurate fantasy sports show in the nation.
I agree, Bill. You know, my mother said that this web series was groundbreaking and historic and the first of its kind, and she's looking forward to more seasons, and I am too, and I'm sure everybody else is.
Well,
Bill!
yeah, if they've been making money, they can't wait for it to come back.
Exactly! Come on, guys. Can we get a little profit, too? Seriously, though, Bill, this is the last couple weeks of fantasy football. What are our tips?
Well, the biggest one, if you were watching last week's games, is to make sure you pay attention to the weatherman.
Yeah.
If it comes down to two players, you don't know who to start. One plays in a dome, and one plays in somewhere, I don't know, like the Northeast, and a bunch of snow. After what you just saw this past weekend, and maybe it's a receiver, go with the guy playing in the dome.
Listen, no doubt about it. I agree with you, Bill. The advantage has to go to the player that's playing indoors. But this weekend was pretty fun to watch, wasn't it?
That was a lot of fun. I love making snow.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We need more tips, though, Bill. What's more advice?
Well, if you're in a well-managed fantasy league, that means you're at this point where there's 4 teams remaining. All right, you're in the playoffs, and all 4 teams probably have good, solid number 1 quarterbacks.
Yes.
And they don't need a backup. Okay, so what do? You take your bench player, whoever that quarterback is, as your backup, and you get rid of him for a running back or wide receiver who's a handcuff to another running back wide receiver that could possibly get hurt. That way you have that big upside and you hurt your opponent by taking their handcuff.
You know, I love this show because of our bold predictions, our hot tips, our crazy advice. I mean, Cole Ossel, one of our guests of the past, he predicted that Toby Gerhart was going to get his moneymaker moments, and AP goes down, and look at Toby Gerhart.
I watched that episode. It was November 9th. It was only a few weeks ago, so if people were paying attention, they should have had Gerhart already on their roster.
Well, Bill, what's some of your hot pickups for this weekend?
We're going to talk about Marcel Reese and Cordarrelle Patterson. Here's the skinny on both of these guys, okay? If you have Rashad Jennings, who should be coming back this week and playing, then yes, get Reese as your backup, as your handcuff, because like we just talked about, you don't want to lose out on that.
No.
Now, if you need a wide receiver, pick up Cordarrelle Patterson. He's going to get a lot of looks. He's doing big plays right now. They have nobody else to go to. They have no Adrian Peterson. So yeah, and Gerhardt's maybe a little bit banged up. They don't even know if he's going to be at 100%. They're going to look at Patterson. He's going to get a lot of targets and a lot of touches.
Wow, guys, you got to be listening to Bill Lett. I mean, Bill Lett, this is the same guy who predicted Nick Foles was going to be a hot pickup.
Nick Foles, excuse me, DJ, but Nick Foles, since week 9, when I told you to get him, has been the number 1 fantasy football player in the entire league. Not just quarterbacks, the entire league.
Bill, you know what? You also said to stay away from Joseph Foria after his 3-touchdown performance when all the experts were saying, pick him up. Yeah. I mean, and he did nothing.
Yeah, well, if you're going to pick him up, pick up a bunch of donuts, because that's all he's giving people.
And what about Brandon Jacobs? Going down injured like you said.
Predicted you get hurt. Donuts there too. Donuts all around.
You're a genius.
Thank
you. I don't throw that word around a lot. You are a genius, my friend. Now listen, it's time for our one name answer segment. Okay, I'm going to give you a question and I just want one name. Are you ready?
Always.
Who is your 2014 sleeper pick?
Brandon LaFell.
Woo! That is bold. Brandon LaFell?
Brandon LaFell, the wide receiver for the Panthers.
Woo, woo, woo. That is bold. Bill, it's always good to have you. Like I said on our last episode of Hashtag NFL Fantasy Pro, we can't wait to have you back next season, my friend.
Always good to be seen, BJ.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in all season. I hope we helped you win some games, hopefully win the entire league, because I know we have that hot advice. Check us next season, Hashtag NFL Fantasy Pro. Same time, same channel. Good luck.